Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brad, and today we're going to retire on Bitcoin. If that's what you're looking for, stick around. So my name is Brad, and I've been retired now almost 8 months, and we are going to look at Bitcoin, and in particular, BTCI. But I'm going to throw out Misty and YBit and YBTC and Maxi and BITO. We're just going to take a look at them all. But first, let's get into this about why I chose BTCI and what I'm looking at on the charts. So first of all, when I bring out my first chart, I have the new floor. That is the floor that normally it does not go past once it does the presidential election. That is when the presidential election happened, and you can see the new floor. That is this historically speaking. Then you can go down and look at the two levels below that for their support. And then you get all the way down to my 8%. And that is where 8% is. But somebody asked the question the other day about this 8%. He goes, that's on your cost, and you bought it for $35,000, and that's why it's so far down. No, that's not why it's so far down. Let's go ahead and do the math. So BTCI pays 28%. Current price is about $83,000. It can handle a 71.4% drawdown. That is a reduction of $59,285 from the $83,000 price. That brings today's dollars, if you would invest today, Bitcoin price would have to fall down to $23,714. How did I come up with that 71.4% drop? Well, you take 1 minus 8 divided by 28, and there you have it. There's the math. Not rocket science. Hopefully you learned that in 6th grade, but maybe you didn't. Not everybody's good at math. I have a trouble with spelling, but math I can do. Now, you can also do, 28.6. How did I come up with 28.6? You can divide 8% by 28%, and that's 28.6 of 83,000 is magically the same number, $23,714. So you can see how the math is interchangeable, because if it wasn't interchangeable, that is funny math. And we don't do funny math on this channel. We eliminate funny math, just calculating it a different way for you. So if I bring that up on a chart, now you can see where the current price is. We set this morning what the current price was, and you can see how far it would have to drop. Yes, that is the new price that it would have to drop to. And this, I'm going to give some little caveats. This is assuming the volatility stays high or similar to where it is today. This is also taken into consideration that BTCI raised their calls and gets 28% on their calls. That appears to be about the right number. So just got to put those two caveats out. And it's not 100%. If it was 100%, I would put all my money in there, never have to worry about it again, take my 8%, retire, and be happy living at the beach. That's why I still diversify into other assets and not just BTC. Now, here's a comment that I threw out the other day at dinner. Tom Lee keeps on saying Bitcoin goes up to $500,000. And if that's true, 10 years from now, my current holdings, what I have in BTCI, will pay for my entire retirement. I won't need anything else. So I'm just going to continue to reinvest as I go. And I have a little rule of 110,000. If it ever gets above 110,000, I'm going to take all of it, not reinvest, take my 8%, and keep the other on the sideline. No, I'm not going to reinvest above 110,000, but I am going to continue to accumulate everything after my 8%. Now, another question that was asked the other day between FBTC and BTCI, and my comment is FBTC is for growth investors, and BTCI is for old retirement investors like me that wants a little bit of exposure to Bitcoin. I want income off of Bitcoin, And I just want to be able to retire nice and happy. I am no longer trying to grow my accounts. I did that with growth investing. I am now taking a more conservative point of view. Somebody pointed out, SPY eyes down. Good luck with that. It'll get back up there in a year. I'm like, hey, in between time, I'll have my 8% and eat my cookies and drink my margaritas at the beach. Even though I'm a Long Island iced tea person myself, let's continue on. If I look at the MVRV score, MVRV is nowhere near to be seen at any time of high peak all-time numbers. It's actually going down, and that is a good sign. Let it go sideways at 80,000, 75,000. Let the MVRV score come back down, and I'll continue to accumulate. And I will be happy ever after. Keep a lookout for MVRV score. The next one is the Pi cycle top. This has really predicted the peak of Bitcoin consistently. And you see today that there is still a gap in the Pi cycle top. Not saying that it will ever get there. It might get there. Who knows it'll get there. But if they ever do touch, that is when the new top is in. That is something that you should look at. But normally you can take the correlation of the MVRV score and the Pi cycle top and come up with your own conclusions. And none of this is financial advice, legal advice, or any other advice, just historical data. If I continue to go on and I look at the linear regression of Bitcoin over time, that bottom red line, today's price is $38,400. That is the bottom end of what they call support of the linear regression fit. And if that is true, then I am good to go for my 8% forever, ever after. But who knows? That's always the question. Something could happen. COVID could come back. I don't know. No predictions. Just Brad taking a look at this going, I don't want to put all my eggs into one basket. But I do want my 8% of my original investment and reinvest the rest, and we'll call it good. Now, if I look at BTCI and I compare price change ever since it came up, and I'm going to go why BTC, and BITO. BITO was doing really good, but I'm telling you, future contracts and backwardation, got to keep an eye on that, ladies and gentlemen. Keep an eye on that, and you'll see that with Maxi also. So you can see where the prices are. And I look at that going, I don't know why you would not invest in BTCI and invest in the other ones, but hey, what am I going to be able to tell you? You're the investor. I'm only putting up the chart. And I'm saying price change, it looks like BTCI is winning. If I look at total returns and I do the same dates, this time I put Maxi in there and I look at that going, BTCI wins again. But you can also see Maxi was up at different times. But don't forget backwardation of future contracts. Now I'm going to look at price change and I'll put Maxi in there. And you see that Maxi is down. I just continue to throw my hands up. BTCI continues to win. But if I look at total return, and this is where BITO is winning. BITO is winning over top of BTCI in total returns. So good job if you're holding on to BITO. And that's why we look at charts. If I look at total returns, and I'm only going to look at BTCI, YBIT, you can just see total returns. It's BTCI. And price change of YBIT versus YBTC. And I went back to the original when they first started on a 1-year chart, thereabouts. Yeah. I think people call that NAV erosion. And they say NAV erosion so much in my comments that I'm just going to go ahead and repeat it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is called NAV erosion. Just thought I would point it out. Sorry, Maybe one more time. Just getting back to you for writing nav erosion in the comments, which you should never do. This makes me mad. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make me mad. I'll just throw that out for general conversation. Then we have my favorite conversation. Here it comes. Dum, 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 dum. Misty. How does Misty compare to BTCI? Well, looky there, Misty, if you got back in October, is beating BTCI with a 33% return. So, way to go, Misty holders. If you got in back in the day, it goes up, it goes down, you have huge gains, but then look at that, you're still up 33%, and that's assuming that you're reinvesting 100%. So that brings me to the end of this video. I really think you should have a couple percentage points into BTCI. Just me speaking out loud. Misty, that's a little more risk, and I am not going to go there. Yes, BTCI only has 25% into actual HODL, which holds Bitcoin, and the rest is a synthetic. And I've always said synthetics aren't that great. But to get the exposure, you're going to either do synthetics or you're going to do future contracts. And I am going to go with BTCI in my holdings, assuming I can go down to that $35,000 range and I can DCA as I go down. So sideways markets, up markets, I don't care. And I've also put a rule for myself, 110,000, I will not be buying back into BTCI. Don't have to. Take my 8% and be happy. That's all I can say. Be happy. Build out other things. So until next time, hopefully you find this entertaining. God bless.